Hey, I've got a quick question for you. If CUT is cut, why is PUT not put? Is it because English is a funny language? Nah. English is simply a non-phonetic language, which means we don't write it the way we speak, and we don't speak it the way we write it. In this American English pronunciation video guide, we're going to concentrate on American English consonant sounds. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't hit subscribe or hit the bell icon, great time to do that. Let's get started with the video. The first sound on our list is B, represented by the letter B. Yes, B is a letter. It's a symbol, it's not a sound. The sound it represents in English is B. Three things which are great to know about the sound is 1. It's a bilabial sound, which means you use both of your lips to produce the sound. Second, that this is a voiced sound. That means you use your vocal cords to produce the sound. And third, and most important, that this is a plosive, which means when you produce the sound, it feels like a minor explosion out of your mouth. How do you produce the sound? The air is temporarily trapped in your vocal cords and suddenly released by your lips. Hear it carefully. But. In a lot of cultures, people say ba or bo. If you hear this carefully, you will understand that in these cultures, b is followed by an after sound of a vowel. It could be ah, oh. To fix this, all you've got to do is replace the after sound, the tail sound, with a schwa and turn it from ba to b. B. Can you hear it? There are actually two sounds. B. It's b and b. Will help you limit the sound and keep it well defined. Let's look at a few examples. B. Banana. B. Basket. B. Boy. B. Ball. B. Bravo. Our next sound is represented by the letter C. Yes, again, C is a letter, it's not a sound, but the sound it produces is k. It's not voiced, which means you do not use your vocal cords. It's like saying the sound while you're whispering. It's also one of the most tricky sounds in English because most of my trainees take much longer to adapt to this than to any other sound that I train them on. So hear it carefully. It's k. It's like you're trying to cough out something and you're doing that silently. Hear it again. K. Try that with me. K. It's not k. It's not h. It's k. It's k. You must understand, in a lot of cultures, the sound g is very common, like in Hindi. However, there is no g in English. The only sound that is close enough to that, or the correct form of that in English, is k. So let's look at a few examples. K. Cat. K. Kind. K. Complete. K. Clever. K. Crazy. K. Case. The next beautiful sound on our list is D, which is represented by the letter D. It's a voiced sound, which means you will use your vocal cords, and it's also considered a stop sound. How do you produce it? You place your tongue right behind your upper teeth and try and say D, D, D. I find this method, where I produce the sound and ask you to imitate it, the best. It's called the method of imitation. When somebody tells you to place your tongue at a certain place and then produce a sound, that's called the method of articulation. However, to human beings, the method of imitation is 100% natural, because that's how we grow up. We hear our parents, we hear people around, and that's how we catch up. Dada, mama, and then it goes on. So hear this and try and replicate it. It's d, d. Let's look at a few examples. Okay, let's start with the examples now. D, duck, d, dad, d, dream. In fact, I can think of a very interesting sentence somehow. I dreamt that my dad got me a duck. Really weird, but it's all got D's. Okay, what's most important to know about the sound D here is that when you find it in the beginning of a syllable, like dairy, dream, you aspirate it. That means you pressurize it. It's distinct. When you find it in the end of a syllable, like in grade, red, trade, it's not aspirated as much. You never say America and China are about to sign a trade deal. You say America and China are about to sign a trade deal. Trade deal. You don't say I'm bored. You say I'm bored. Here again, bored. Compare it with dream or with duck, where the sound of D is very distinct, it's highly defined, it's pressurized. But in red, road, trade, and probably bored, you do not hear it as distinct because it is in the end of the syllable. The next sound on our list is represented by the letter F. And it's not voiced. It's called a fricative, but how do you make it? It's made using your upper teeth and your lower lip. Hear it. In American English, the sound is very distinct. In cultures where you don't have a lot of friction of air while producing the sound, because this is how it's produced, your upper teeth touch your lower lip. They kind of bite your lower lip. And you pass air. This air is partially restricted, and that causes a friction. That's how you make the sound F. Let's look at a few examples. Fish. 5. Fun. I'm having a lot of fun. Food. By the way, if you couldn't say this correctly till now, you couldn't even say the F word till now. Did you think about that? Just kidding. Now, it's important to remember that we are not doing letters. We're trying to understand sounds. The letter F does produce the sound F, but that's not the only letter which produces that sound. You find a combination of P and H, and majority of times it produces the same sound as the letter F. Let's look at a few examples. Physician. Physician. Philosophy. Philosophy. Phenomenon. Phenomenon. Photograph. Photograph. The next consonant sound is J. It corresponds to the letter J. Let's look at a few examples, but before that, please try and repeat after me. J. 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 Let's try a few examples now. J. January. J. Jacket. J. Jet. J. Jam. Congratulations, you've done it. I've got a new sound for you. Try and tell me, where does this sound belong in English? I'm sorry, she wasn't listening. Okay, do you want to say anything? What? That's an interesting sound. That's the sound of irritation. Oh. Till next time. See you guys.